My name is Jessica Campbell. I am an assistant coach with the Seattle Kraken. My coaching journey began obviously in player development. I started as a skating coach, a skills coach, and then I found myself working behind the bench really internationally, first in Sweden, then Germany. And I came back to North America and I've been working in men's pro hockey actually my entire coaching career. I think leadership has always been a trait that has shown up in my playing career, and then naturally finding a passion in coaching, I think it came organically. And so I would say it's somewhat innate in me, but I think you have to grow it and you have to build it every single day. I think so often when you enter into your early years as a coach, you're always so focused on results and taking steps and your experiences versus just trusting that your impact on people is actually what's going to make you a better coach, and it's what's going to open up doors for you. The unsung heroes in my little hockey towns were always the people that, ran the rink, showed up at the rink, made sure the doors were open. I grew up in small town Saskatchewan in the prairies, and so some of those cold winters where there was not a lot to do other than to be on the ice, those were the people that made it happen. How have I given back to the game and the growth of the game? I'm taking a huge pride in being in the position that I'm in. I feel deeply honored and grateful to get to do what I love every day at the National Hockey League level, but I also feel a huge sense of responsibility that comes with being in this position and being the first female in this position, to know that our game is moving forward, but it only moves forward as far as we push and as far as we put ourselves out there. And so sharing my experiences is one. I think that's the best way to learn, and I've tried to learn from others by asking questions and understanding their journey. And so sharing my journey in every opportunity and way that I can or platform I'm given, but also connecting with fans. I think this year for me was really special, seeing not just young girls and families come behind the bench in warm-ups and sharing a moment with them, whether it was a friendship bracelet or a puck or an autographed jersey. Those moments matter a lot. When I think of the word quality in regards to the National Hockey League player, I think of made up of really good parts. And that's not just talent. I mean, it's easy to think that, but quality would be the person and the athlete and just the human that you get to work with. So, dependability is obviously another critical piece when it comes to having a good team that works together, aligned, trustworthy, just somebody that you can count on. Reliability is all about building a relationship that you can leverage, that you can build, you can grow. Again, it kind of comes back to that trust and knowing that the foundation is there. And when it's from a relationship standpoint, when somebody's reliable, obviously they're kind of your go-to person. My personal welcome to the NHL moment was on opening night. I had my closest family and friends, former teammates fly in from all over the world to be at the home opener for me. And the moment that really hit me was the response from our fan base. It just meant so much to me and for my family to get to experience that, because they're the people that helped put me in this position. I think I try to keep my focus on the players, building relationships, building trust. Communication has to be the foundation of that style of coaching, and just understanding that I'm working for them. It's not about me, and I think it's easy in coaching, to always think about trying to get buy-in from athletes and players, and you're trying to bring the team together. And so checking that ego and just leading with compassion and empathy, and really trying to foster a relationship that you can deal with the harder things that happen in coaching. Like, every player is their own human being, has their own journey, their own experiences. Communication is everything. I think communication has taught me that the greatest coaches are good at it. When I think about sport and I think about business, obviously this is a business. There's multiple people, part of a goal and part of a mission, and so I think that business leaders can learn from high-performance coaches in many ways. I think it's all about setting standards of excellence among the group, and then the rollout of how that can trickle down, and the parts, that move together in order to, again, move towards accomplishing the goals. Yeah, when I'm driving to the rink, there's a lot going on in my head. I actually appreciate having a longer drive to the rink because it's kind of my moment to gather my thoughts, to come collected. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I do listen to music too, of course, but it's never quiet. And I think it allows me to just move through my own thoughts. And I think the biggest thing that I always try to think about when I at least get out of my car or by the time I get to the rink is, what kind of impact am I gonna have today? And it can be sometimes small, but trying to find many different ways to reach multiple players, or it's a harder conversation that I have to have and get through with somebody specifically. My true and honest answer to car features would be heated seats. That's the prairie kid in me. Or Bluetooth, one of those two. I get to show up every day in a workplace where everyone looks different. Everybody has different strengths that they bring to the table. And they very, very much so foster a community that cares about people, and that diversity is shown in strength among teams. And so I value that. I'm grateful to be part of that. I mean, I have a lot of people that have been supporting and cheering me on. I think somebody new that just came into my network over the last few months is Ken Hitchcock. He's been incredible support and, weekly phone call away, just someone to lean on, and obviously a wealth of knowledge and experience that I'm extremely lucky to have around me. Obviously the NHLCA, Lindsay's been incredible, just someone to talk to in any situation, and having her support system and team is a huge asset. Dan Balsma has been someone that's been a huge advocate for me and in my career and my growth as a coach. I think that's predictability is harder to come by in our league, and therefore being consistent and being approachable is something that I think is important. I think an empowered person can always do more than expected or asked of.